G'day there guys, Connor here, and we are back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoyed these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Okie dokie, on Am I the A-Hole? This one was written by user Besties, and it's titled, I told my friend why I don't want to date him, and our friends are saying I broke him. Am I the A-Hole? So my 21 female friend of 10 years, Mark, 23, called me yesterday to meet him for lunch and that he had something important to discuss with me. I had free time, so I agreed. I met him already there and joined him. We had lunch, then we talked a bit about random things. Then he cleared his throat and started speaking. He first told me that he didn't understand why I was dating my now boyfriend when he's a better match for me. I asked him to explain. And he basically went on about how he liked me first, and he met me first. He's more good-looking, knows me better, he's taller than my boyfriend and more successful. Which is not true in a way. My boyfriend works aside from growing up in wealth, while Mark's entire life is funded by his parents' money, lol. He told me he doesn't understand how I can be with him when he's always been around waiting for me. I was out of words and asked him if he wanted me to be honest, to which he said yes. I told him that I would never want to date him given how I've seen the way he treated his past girlfriends. He ghosts them when he feels like it and just expects them to be there waiting. I told him he's too immature and irresponsible for me and that dating him would be exhausting. I also explained that the reasons I mentioned was why over time I started putting a distance to our friendship because I didn't like the way he treated the women in his life. When I was done, he was just quiet. He just excused himself and left. I went home and went about my day. Later in the evening, our other friends started asking what I did to Mark and that he's been a wreck since he met me for lunch. He's drinking and not telling anyone what happened. I explained to them what happened and they're saying I was harsh and that I broke him, blah blah blah. But I think someone had to tell him the truth. So Reddit fam, am I the a-hole? A few edits. I know everyone says this, but whoa, I didn't think this post would blow up so much. I'm trying to get through the comments and answer some questions that are there. Was sort of occupied the whole day, so I just opened Reddit. Thank you for all the comments, honestly. Edit 2. I'm so overwhelmed by the comments in a good way. Most are really funny. I've been laughing so much I woke my sister's baby. I've sent my post to my friend, not associated with Mark, and our group chat is blowing up with more laughter. But in all seriousness, I'm thankful for the great comments and people giving advice on my safety. I'll definitely be more aware of my surroundings going forward. I don't know Mark as a violent person, but then again this incident has proved that I may not know him like I think I do. Mark is currently blocked from everything. Our mutual friends who are supporting him and calling me out are also blocked. And this is also a learning lesson to me, to distance myself a lot quicker next time I see red flags in future friendships. Thank you again Reddit fam. If anything happens I'll update you all. And I'll still be reading the comments and answering what I can. Okay, let's go to those comments. Not the a-hole. Even if you had kinda liked him, I feel like declaring his feelings by being rude about your current partner is such a turn-off. He doesn't say anything meaningful or romantic about you, just that he thinks he's better than your actual boyfriend so you should dare him instead. So entitled. And all his bragging about himself is superficial, shallow stuff. Opie is right, he's too immature and self-centered. It sounds like he's never had to earn anything for himself. How did he think this would go? She would say, gee, you're right, how could I be so foolish? Then he could tell her she still had to earn his love. Blech, just gross. Opie replies, he's the typical rich boy who thinks we should all bow down to him, but if we are to remove his parents' money, then he's got nothing to his name. Why doesn't she like me? I'm literally the most perfect guy. I'm a really nice person. You're a bad person. Cue a narcissistic existential crisis that has nothing to do with you, but you'll be blamed for. She says, very narcissistic. He makes everything about him and always wants to one-up his friends. I'm definitely dropping him and the people supporting him. I find it disgusting that she thought she had a friend while he was just waiting, lying in wait, more like. It's the waiting part that's a huge red flag. If I even thought I developed feelings for a friend, I would let them know to get ahead of it and see how they felt. But waiting 10 years and pulling the I knew you first, that makes you sound like a possession, not a person he wants to grow with. Not to mention the fact that you have a boyfriend and waits until then to tell you. Seriously, I think people think Hallmark Christmas rom-coms are documentaries. Yep, he freak-zoned her, then gaslighted her into thinking he was a friend. Yes, this is a huge detail right here. Opie's going to realize that he was never her friend and that he was just being nice because he wanted to be with her. Once you realize that as a woman, your whole perspective changes as you question all the male friends you've ever had. Opie's amazing for how she straight up told her friend, lol. Opie says, I've honestly been thinking about our entire friendship. We went to the same primary school, that's how we have mutual friends and all. All this time I thought I had a great friend, until I started noticing his relationships, and this just solidified my decision to leave our friend group. Now for an update, 4 days later. Hello Reddit family, I don't know if anyone will find this, but I did get a lot of comments and a lot of great suggestions and help on my first post, so I feel like I owe you an update, lol. So a couple things have happened since then. After some people mentioned things on my safety, I took it to heart and told my sister and her husband, I live with them now, the issue. Of course, it was also just in case my ex-friends were to stop by the house, since they do that sometimes. Since there's a baby at our house, my sister's baby, they thought having cameras was not a bad idea for everyone's safety. And I told my boyfriend as well, since some of you were worried about his safety too. He's a fit guy and has security at his house, so he'll be fine. On Friday, I went to a birthday party with my boyfriend for one of his friends, and everything was going well until I saw one of Mark's sidekicks. Let's call him Ben. I pass him without saying anything and he just looks at me. I notify my boyfriend that he's there and we decide to not let him bother us. An hour later, I saw him, Mark, talking to the birthday girl. Not surprised they know each other, honestly. Most of us went to the same primary school and stayed connected throughout the years. Then he made his way over to us, smiling like nothing happened. He went straight to my boyfriend and extended his hand. I'm Mark, you remember me, right? And you must be the boyfriend, he says. My boyfriend shaked his hand, being polite of course. He then told him in his most annoying voice, Can I borrow her for a sec? I just want to talk. I immediately shut him down and told him to leave us alone. He didn't. He persisted for a full minute, and when my boyfriend tells him to leave, he just goes on and tried to take my hand by force. My boyfriend, being already annoyed by the whole issue, slaps the arrogance out of him. He tries to fight back, but my boyfriend punches him in his face. The security people were called and took him out shouting, and we left after, explaining the whole thing to the birthday girl. My boyfriend dropped me off at home and he left immediately. The next day, that is Saturday, a video was sent to me, a video of Mark being taken away by security, and the people laughing. I guess somebody was filming. The person who sent it is one of Mark's ex-girlfriends. Her message was, served him right. So yeah, that's where we are now. It's been quiet since yesterday, but knowing Mark, he'll definitely pull something on my boyfriend. My boyfriend is not one to resort to violence, but Mark had it coming, honestly. If it wasn't him, someone would have done it. I tried to make it short, but it's still very long. I'm sorry for that. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. And to those I couldn't respond to on my previous post, I truly appreciate your comments. One commenter adds, Not the a-hole. Bro, you literally set boundaries and he refused to respect them. Your boyfriend protecting you equals normal. OP says, Thank you. He'll definitely appreciate this. He's still sad about me witnessing that side of him, but I've assured him that I'm not bothered. Mark crossed so many lines. Security came, and if they thought your boyfriend was a problem at all, they'd have hauled him off right alongside Mark. They knew who the a-hole was, even though they're complete strangers to you. Your boyfriend shouldn't be sad that you had to witness that side of him, any more than he should be sad for you to see him take a crap. He just did what he had to do in an unfortunate situation. And she says, I'll show this comment to him, and you're right on the security part. Mark wasn't even invited. The birthday girl was just being polite when he showed up after Ben told him I was there. Ben needs to grow a spine and stop being a puppet. Following for more updates. This guy is crazy. He must have thought you didn't tell your boyfriend when he thought he could borrow you. And it just shows that he has zero respect for women by thinking he could grab you and make you go with him. He needs to look at himself and take your previous words to heart and maybe get some therapy. OP says, honestly, I wish he could get some therapy too. Mark is doing too much. I wouldn't be surprised if more people start distancing themselves from him. In a place where everyone knows almost everyone, people want to avoid being dragged into drama. Yeah, you'd have to think that people will start distancing themselves from a bloke like this. I mean, what kind of guy feels entitled to date a woman just because he knew her for longer? I mean, that's crazy. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we're leaving that story there and moving on to the next one. Okay, we're moving over to relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Am I overreacting? My boyfriend held me underwater during a bath to prove a point, and I'm still shaken. I'm 19 female and have been with my boyfriend, 23, for over a year now. We come from different countries and religions, but we've made it work. I have to mention this. My boyfriend loves turning everything into a competition. We both go to the gym and he's always like, who can do this better? Even at home he's always asking who can cook better, clean faster, you name it. A week ago we were relaxing in the bathtub together. He asked who I thought could hold the other underwater the longest. I found it weird and just brushed it off as one of his usual questions. Just 2 to 3 minutes later he got up as if to get out of the bathtub and suddenly pushed me underwater. He kept me under for what felt like more than 20 seconds. When he finally let go, he started laughing. I'm generally healthy, but I have a heart condition that requires daily medication to keep my heart rate normal. Without meds, my heart rate can go up to 140 to 150 BPM. Even with meds, sudden situations like this can make my heart rate spike to 140 and stay between 110 to 120 for the next few days. He knows this. He brought up what happened today and said he apologized, which he didn't, and that I should get over it. I'm trying. He said he was trying to prove a point, that I need to work on myself more. It doesn't make sense to me because he's naturally stronger than me, and no matter how much I work out, I can't always defend myself against everything successfully. I can't talk to my sister or mother about it. They'd just ask what I was doing in a bathtub with a guy in the first place, and I still don't have friends here. It's only him or me. We've talked about it more than once, and he says if I did this to him, he would have found it funny. I don't know if I should just loosen up more, but I don't understand how holding me underwater for that long was ever funny in his head. Edit, he's also complaining now about the marks I left on his wrist and arm, almost faded. I didn't mean to. It was sudden and I swallowed a bit of water and I was freaking out and just wanted him to let go. I apologized for this but told him it was a natural reaction to what he did. Wow, what the hell? This guy is sadistic. I mean, the quote-unquote normal thing in this situation is asking, how long can you hold your breath? Who can hold their breath the longest? Sure, but holding someone underwater? That's never been a competition. Sounds like this guy's just getting off on seeing her struggle or something like that. Some weird power thing. Let's go to the comments. You need to get out immediately. Do not listen to anything he says to you to convince you otherwise. He is dangerous. If there is a universe where what he did could be forgiven as a massive error in judgment, the way he's reacted since then, finding about 6 different ways to blame you for being upset, is the opposite of what that would look like. She replies, "You're completely right. It's just I've never felt unsafe or uncomfortable around him. That's why this is so difficult for me, I guess." This is very, very scary. I'm afraid for you. You are still shaken because what he did was violent. There is no other way to define it. He used his greater body mass to restrain you in a dangerous, scary, and potentially life-threatening situation and found it funny. He has gone far beyond the boundaries of normal competitiveness. The fact that he pushed you to apologize for leaving marks on his arm while he was practically drowning you leads me to believe that he, 1, is unable or unwilling to see the true harm of his actions, 2, will do something similarly violent again, and 3, will find a way to make your reactions to his violence the bigger problem. Please find a way to remove this man from your life soon, before he escalates and puts you in even greater danger. Opie says, I'm afraid to and can't stop thinking about what if he does something like this again. I'm confused because he says he didn't really mean to hurt me and I love him a lot. I know I need to really do something about it, but it's been a week and I still haven't done anything. Run away from him. This is classic abuser behavior. Your heart literally cannot take his crap. The situation also might not have hit OP yet, but this is a traumatic episode. Having to fight for your life triggers trauma responses. OP's brain and body will start having these responses that might not be apparent to OP as they manifest. What point was he trying to prove? That at any moment he could just kill you? Actually, that could be the point. He's showing her that he's stronger and willing to do this to her. This makes her controllable. Maybe he wouldn't even need to use more physical violence with the threat of it always being in the background. Abuse is always about control, if it's physical or only emotional. Yeah, spot on. Okay, on to an update. 1 month later. Hi, I just wanted to let you know that I'm away and safe. I tried to log in 2 days ago to update, but found that my account has been suspended. Maybe I did something wrong while creating it or mentioned some details I wasn't supposed to, but I'm okay now and wanted you to know because I'm really grateful for all the advice and support I received that I wasn't sure I would find anywhere else. If the update is too long, you can just stop here because the rest is just what happened in detail. I'm currently staying with a woman who used to be one of my neighbours before I moved in with him a few months ago. She's the only person I could think of calling for help, and she didn't hesitate to come right away to help pack some of my things and leave. She also encouraged me to call my family. I called my mum 2 days later. She promised to not tell my siblings or my father. My parents had divorced. I told her everything and she asked how she could help, which was something I wasn't actually expecting. The main reason I was hesitant to let my family know is because of both my older sister and my father. They always bring up things people feel ashamed of or bad experiences they've had just to win arguments. As for my ex, he apologized, said he meant nothing by what he did and promised to never do it again. But just 3 days after leaving him, he tricked me into meeting him through one of his friends. She said he packed the rest of my things and asked her to give them back to me. I went to meet her in a public place that I insisted on, and he was with her. We didn't talk because I left right away before I even made it to their table. Since I blocked him the day I left, my neighbour called him and let him know that she has no problem helping me get a restraining order if he ever tries anything. That's all. I'm safe and I now know that I did the right thing. I'm glad I called her. I found a place with 2 roommates that I'll be moving to next week. Although she said I can stay as long as I want, but she's already done so much for me, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of her kindness. Thank you again for all the advice. Phew, thank God Opie had someone to go to. Some final comments. Oh, thank God. I've been thinking about you every day since you posted. I'm so glad you trusted your mum and she actually came through. I know you were scared about that. Keep relying on the people who have proven to be on your side, and keep being way overly careful and staying the hell away from him. I'm so happy to hear you're okay. She responds, yeah, I was so scared to call my mum, but she was surprisingly understanding and said all she wanted was for me to be safe and come back to her alive. I'm really glad I called my neighbour, even though it was so hard for me. I was literally shaking and cried before calling, but that was what actually pushed me to seek help. Thank you so much. He's crazy. Your friend is a snake and might be missing some info, or he twisted all the story, but I bet she's the one comforting him right now. I only ask you to remain safe. Full no contact with him, siblings, and others in common. I would also delete or block your profiles. Check your credit, change banks if necessary, and other passwords. He might use them in revenge, like make loans. Opie responds, she's his friend. She and I aren't close enough for me to call her a friend, but she never gave me the impression that she could lie. When she called, I didn't think for a second that she would do something like that. Another commenter says, this man needs to be put on a list. He's going to kill his next girlfriend. The next update will be, I saw my ex in the news being charged with the murder of his new girlfriend. He apologized for the attempted murder, did he? What a swell guy. Sideshow Bob may have been onto something. Was it attempted murder? Really? It's not like they give out Nobels for attempted chemistry. In all seriousness though, I hope that Opie's now ex-boyfriend steps on a rake, repeatedly, forever. I think the rest of the comments have my thoughts on the murder kink that guy apparently has covered, so I just want to say I'm so glad Opie had such a kind neighbour, and that she reached out to her. She was precisely who Opie needed, and it makes me so happy that, as awful as her ex was, she was able to find such a wonderful woman, and I hope they kept in touch. He is absolutely going to kill someone someday. Thinking of it, saying it out loud as if it's a normal conversation, and then doing it, absolutely psychotic behaviour. But unfortunately, next time he might be smarter about it because he's realised that saying that crap out loud and doing it made his girlfriend leave him. So scary. Quote, he's also complaining now about the marks I left on his arm. I'm mad that you scratched me when I held you underwater and made you fear for your life. Screw this guy. I'm so glad she's safe now. One thing I've tried to do with my kids, and I wish every parent would do, is impress upon them that no matter how they ended up in a situation, they are more important to me. I know that there are a lot of toxic families, and it sounds like hers has some major toxicity too. It just pains me that she was surprised her mum wanted to help. Yeah, it's a bit sad, isn't it? And not even being able to tell her own father? You'd think he'd be the most protective of her, but I guess not. Anyway guys, that's it for that story. As always, give me your thoughts down below, but that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those stories, thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.